Doors are locked?
Yeah.
All right. If everybody can stay seated, the program is not over. The program is not over. We still have
Some music for you.
earlier today, many individuals were asking, we'd really love to see Dana Saleh, right? We also still have Eddie Mack featuring Batata and Abe. We still have some amazing program if everybody can make sure that you still find your seat. I believe they are, it's $50 donation to stand by the door. So if we can just, all right. For those that are still standing, as you head back to your seat, please, if you can look to your left and right, if you see any little chatter, just a polite shh. All right, we appreciate it. Tonight, we also have the pleasure of honoring some of the most amazing superstars in our community. Some movers and shakers that I am sure you all have been seeing on social media and all over all forms of media, and you've been looking and saying, Mashallah alayhum, look at this person, look what they're doing. I love this person. Most of them are here tonight. Without further ado, I want to also remind everybody one last housekeeping, which is very near and dear to my heart. The bazaar, which has lots of amazing food and candy and chocolate. Make sure when you all are here this weekend that you're stopping by the bazaar. I was supporting all of the food vendors today as a sign of solidarity with our community. So please make sure you do the same. And now to some of our awardees. Sayla?
And as Saeed said, it's very important that you visit the bazaar. It's open all weekend. You'll find fabulous clothing from our vendors, some amazing products you can have in your homes. Please make sure that you visit them. They're here all weekend, and it is open and free to the public. So please tell your friends and family as well. Our first award is one that is something that is truly near and dear to my heart. For many of us who have walked the halls of Congress and have lobbied our representatives, I think it's important that we pay tribute to the people who are doing relentless work, not letting anyone sleep. It's not often that you get to witness and work with a living social justice icon. Medea Benjamin, the recipient of the Rachel Corrie Award, whose name stands for moral courage, bearing witness, refusing silence, and standing with people whose rights are being erased. The Rachel Corrie Award honors that spirit and action. Medea Benjamin is the co-founder of Code Pink and Global Exchange. All of us have witnessed her put her body on the line. In the halls of Congress to the streets around the world, she has turned conscience into sustained strategic pressure, organizing, educating, and demanding accountability when it's hardest. She was awarded the Martin Luther King Jr. Peace Prize and has been nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of women globally. Medea makes us all proud with her record of persistence in the service of peace. And tonight, Medea is the 2025 ADC Rachel Corrie Award recipient. Thank you for her fearless, her absolutely fearless and decades-long solidarity. ADC proudly presents the Rachel Corrie Award to Medea Benjamin. Thank you, Medea, for all that you do.
Let me just say what an incredible honor it is. I feel like an honorary Arab, an honorary Muslim from the Jewish community. And I take that to heart. At a moment when we are fighting against not only the lobby groups like AIPAC, like Christians United for Israel, the military-industrial complex. We see the global community coming together to say no to genocide. We see the global Samud flotilla, people putting their lives on the line. We see the ordinary acts of courage, and the global opinion will prevail over the monsters like Netanyahu we saw at the UN today. Thank you so much. Much love. Free Palestine.
Thank you, Medea. The next award is a special one. It has a special connection to it and something that we're going to be committing to doing at ADC. And this is presented to Hamza Ali, who is with Watermelon Pictures. How many of you have heard Watermelon Pictures? Let's give him a round of applause. The Ali brothers, Walid and Malik, set the standard for independent distribution and open doors for Palestinian and Arab filmmakers. The honorees, Hamza Ali and Badi Ali, are carrying the legacy forward of their fathers and their family through Watermelon Pictures, building pipelines for underrepresented voices and pushing back against erasure with artistry and reach. So I'll tell you this, we got Hamza Ali receiving the award on behalf of his father, his uncle. And what we've decided to do at ADC is we're going to give this award every year. We are going to commit a scholarship to an Arab Palestinian filmmaker, and we're going to work with the Ali family, with the brothers, with Watermelon Pictures to give this award annually so we can promote the arts and promote this work for many, many years to come. So Hamza, thank you.
Thank you, Abid. I definitely don't deserve an award. And when Abid told me, I was reluctant, but when he said he was naming it after my father and my uncle, I was deeply honored. So it's on their behalf that I will accept it. Thank you. I'll try to be very quick here. Just want to say my brother and I are standing on my father and uncle's shoulders, and it's absolutely absurd that it took a Palestinian kid in the 70s that loved film for us to have this platform today. But here we are. I just want to say, you know, again, it's the people of Gaza that opened the door for us to, you know, to open the world's eyes, and we're just simply walking through the door. So, you know, following the aftermath of October 7th, we had to witness not only the genocide, but also mainstream media debate over whether or not this was justified. And it's dehumanization that gives license to genocide, and it's erasure that leads to apathy. So that's what we're battling. When you know a Palestinian, you realize we're generous people, we're warm people, we're hospitable people, and those are the people that are advocating for Palestine, and it's our erasure that prevents that. So while our oppressors attempt to reduce us to numbers and statistics, we know we're not numbers and statistics. Every number is a face, a name, a story. For example, Hind Rajab was just mentioned here. When we think of Hind, yes, when we think of Hind, it sparks an emotional, it sparks emotionally in your heart. And this is the power of cinema and the purpose of cinema. And unfortunately, mainstream studios use cinema to sedate and lull all of us into complacency. So that's what we're battling. I'm going to shamelessly plug, you know, please buy a movie ticket, you know, subscribe to Watermelon Plus. We can't do this without your support. We need the community support. Again, thank you, Abid, so much for this honor. And I'm sorry to speak so long. Thank you.
I wish I was as tall as Hamza. The Art for Liberation Award honors creative work that does more than inspire. It changes systems. It honors art's power to awaken, resist, and liberate. Tonight we recognize Celine Samaan, co-founder and executive director of the Slow Factory. Through Slow Factory, she advances climate justice, labor dignity, and bringing those tools to the public through open education. For turning aesthetics into accountability and creativity into civic power, ADC proudly presents the Art for Liberation Award to Celine Samaan on behalf of the Slow Factory. Celine, please join us on stage.
Thank you so much for recognizing this award. I'm so honored to be here. I came to the United States as a child refugee during the war in Lebanon, when in 1982 Israel invaded Lebanon and created a siege. And what we are witnessing today, we have lived in another lifetime, in my lifetime. I came here as a refugee and then escaped to Montreal. I live in the United States currently, but I'm the only one of my family who is here, and it feels so good to be in Dearborn, Michigan, surrounded by extended family members. Art must reflect the times that we live in, otherwise it is a tool of the oppressor. It becomes a propaganda tool. And what we do at Slow Factory, it's really to utilize all of the creative resilience that we have collectively, this joyful defiance, this energetic vibration that elevates our struggle away from pain, away from suffering, but into dignity. Art is the strongest form of dignity that we have. And as Arabs, we know that art is inherent in our culture. It's part of our indigenous culture. And even though we are displaced, most of us are living here on the occupied Turtle Island, we are displaced because our land is also occupied. We are 16.6 millions or billions around the world. It's really hard to put a number on how many we are, because here in the United States, we are an invisible minority. We don't even exist in the census. We don't even know how many we are here, but we know who we are. And through art, we get to reclaim our message. And through the Slow Factory, this infrastructure for culture, it's very important that we support this infrastructure and that we continue to uplift voices from the Arab diaspora, even if this platform that started by just a refugee girl has become such an influential platform, reaching 40 million people every day. Championing causes not just about us, about our struggles with the oppressor in our lands, with Palestine and Lebanon and Syria and Yemen, but really about collective liberation. So thank you so much, ADC, for recognizing this, and thank you all.
Our next award is for someone who I have had the pleasure of watching grow and flourish and become an intricate part of the fabric of today's society, and this, especially here in this community. Our Media Impact Award honors a creator who uses the power of media to inform, to humanize, and to push back on erasure. Tonight, we recognize Hussein Hashim for leveraging media to lift community voices, frame facts with integrity, and move audiences from awareness to action. His work reminds us that impact isn't only measured in views, it's measured in clarity, courage, and the community strengthened by the truth. ADC is proud to present the Media Impact Award to Hussein Hashim.
Assalamu alaikum, good evening. No, we gotta do better. The administration will be happy if they know this is the energy in the capital of Arab. Assalamu alaikum, good evening. Yes. Allow me to express my sincere gratitude to ADC's executive director, board, staff, and membership. I'm humbled and honored by this award. Back in late 2017, I looked at our community in the United States and I saw there is a void. They want to get involved. They want their voice to be heard. But there was so many barriers. One was the language barrier. So we decided to be their voice and amplify their voices and talk about the issues that matter, that matter to them. Believe me, the start was hard. You know, when we started and you open a platform and you go live, you need people to watch you. So in the beginning, I used to call my family, call my wife, my mother, my dad, and my brother. I'm like, call your friends, have him call the show, have him watch it, have him, put a like, a comment, just so we can show there is some engagement. Moving forward to 2025, now WhatsApp Media Network, Qanatul Akhbar, we do over 15 to 20 million organic views per month, amplifying voices of the Arab and Muslim American community in the US. When this administration is trying to silence us, when this administration is trying to intimidate us, when there is so many people scared to speak up, we want to be their voice and we want to tell them, do not be scared, speak up. Let's all say it, we are not scared. We're not going to be intimidated. Free, free Palestine. Free, free Palestine. From Dearborn, the capital of Arab in the USA, our salutes to Gaza, to West Bank, to Palestine, to Lebanon, to Yemen, to Iraq, to Sudan, to all of those countries that are suffering. We're gonna be your voice, and we're gonna ask for your rights. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next award is the Distinguished Public Service Award. This honors leaders who turn community values into policy and deliver for the people they serve. Representative Brahim Ayash made history as Michigan's first Muslim in the House Majority Leadership, setting the agenda in a term that flipped the balance of power. A son of the Hamtramck Detroit community, he championed the issues that mattered most: environmental justice, consumer protections, public health, and opportunity for working families. He's got principled leadership, effective governance, and his service to his constituents is unmatched. We're proud to present the Distinguished Public Service Award to Brahim Ayash, and I know he's done a lot of work with many of you. He's a friend to the movement, a friend to ADC. Brahim, we can't wait to see what you have in store. I know he hasn't announced it, but there's a little secret that he's running for state senate, and definitely if that happens, I know a lot of people in this room would support it. So thank you, Brahim, for everything that you do.
Assalamu alaikum. What up, though? Nobody's from Detroit, unfortunately. I remember the very day that my mom went to cast her ballot for me. She was a woman that came from Yemen with a second-grade education and never had a chance to fully learn how to read and write. But the day of my election, she told me, Ibrahim, I know how to read your name. Ibrahim Ayash. And she found it on the ballot and walked out and didn't vote for anybody else. And I said, Mama, wait. You got to finish filling out the rest of your ballot. And my mom's story is a testament to the hope of America. The hope that in this country, you can still fight for the things that you believe in if you find the will to be patient and work through the pain. And I know our community right now is dealing with a hell of a lot of pain. And for all the hope America has given us, we know that the horrors of this country are worse. We know what they did to folks in New York and across the country after 9/11. We know the genocide that our country is funding every single day while we see burning babies before our eyes. So the question that we have to ask ourselves is, what do we do with all of the things that we know, but we know there's a community of Americans that may not fully understand this pain? There's an Arabic proverb, al-ilm bila amal, ka-shajari bila thamar. Knowledge without action is like a tree without fruit. It bears no purpose. So we know the crisis and the trauma and the genocide that our sisters and brothers are dealing with in Gaza. And I know Bassem said it's okay to be pessimistic, but I want to tell you a story about Rain, a young girl that I met in Jarash when I visited Jordan with the greatest mayor in Michigan, Abdullah Hamoud. And you can clap for Abdullah. He deserves it. But I remember when we were visiting these refugee camps, Rain had asked me what this pin on my lapel was. I told her elected officials in the Michigan House and Senate wear this gold pin in the legislature. And I took it off and I gave it to her, and she started crying. I said, "This is my gift to you." And I gave her this gift because of the story she told me. She said, "Ibrahim, Mr. Representative, I could not get a national number and I wanted to be a dentist, but I could not be. So I'm choosing to teach people English here in the refugee camp in the future so that they can learn how to share our stories too." And she said, "You are an American. You have to keep fighting for us. You have to stand up to your government. You have to keep pushing for the greater justice for the people in Gaza." So we don't have a choice to give up in this moment. We don't have an option to give up in this moment, because if Rain doesn't give up, despite living in one of the worst refugee camps in terms of conditions I'd ever seen, why the hell are we going to give up? So you don't have an excuse to say you're tired. You don't have an excuse to say you've seen too much trauma. They're living the goddamn trauma. So I want to close with this one point. There's an African tribe known as the Maasai tribe. And they don't greet themselves with Salamu alaikum or hello or what up, do. They greet themselves with an expression of Kasari Ningere, which means, and how are the children? And the response should be Sapati Ngere. The children are okay. But let's talk about the children in today's world. Dean Mahmoud Khalil was born while his father was locked up in a cinder block prison without any due process. How are the children? Wadi al-Fayoumi stabbed 16 times by his landlord simply because he was Palestinian. How are the children? Sha'ban was burned alive with an IV attached to his arm in Gaza, dead from burning flames. How are the children? Hind was shot 80 times by bullets funded by the United States while she was waiting for help. How are the children? 2 black babies on the east side of Detroit shot this July while they were asleep. How are the children? I hope one day we can answer this question with a hopeful response that says the children are okay. But if we give up, they will not be. So Kasari Ngere, and inshallah we can finally say Sapati Ngere. Assalamu alaikum.
Our next fearless leader. Fearless is an understatement. Saeed and I have been around the organizing space for a long time. And immediately post 9/11, we were catapulted into a different realm of organizing. And this extraordinary woman, at the time we were very young, we're forever 21, was standing with us, shoulder to shoulder, toe to toe, to stand up against anything, and she still does this today. Hazami Barmada has done something I have yet to see anyone do. She is the one who parked herself not long after delivering a baby to stand outside and sleep outside the homes of the Secretary of State, of the press, the White House press. Everyone you could think of, she parked herself and her team, and they stood there and they made people so uncomfortable that you had to pay attention. And it received national and global news. Hazami is an award-winning social impact strategist and humanitarian and the founder of Humanity Lab Foundation. She's the executive producer and host of the acclaimed Finding Humanity podcast and has built and led global programs with the United Nations, Harvard, the Aspen Institute, and launched HP Foundation's Digital Equity Accelerator, investing millions to scale solutions at the intersection of technology, equity, and dignity.
You know, when I heard they're giving an award to Hazami, I'll tell you, because I'm sure Hazami can see me from side of the stage, I said I have to be on stage when that happens. Because she's from the DC area, I'm in the DC area, and I will tell you very quickly, when I first started getting into a lot of the organizing, people would always tell me, have you spoken to Hazami? And I was like, who's Hazami? Never a last name, just Hazami. And I started to realize that a lot of these, when I hear Sohaila, I don't need a last name. When I hear Linda, I don't need a last name. And when I hear Hazami, I don't need a last name. And I will tell you, this last point, I've lost over 100 family in Gaza since this happened. And one day we called my cousin and we said, listen, how is everything going? And she said, honestly, today, احنا صايمين. So what are you talking about? She said, صايمين, we're fasting. I said, do you have anything to eat? She said, صايمين. And I was wondering what she's talking about. And she said, I don't let someone tell me and make me feel that they control me enough to tell me when I eat. So to show them, أنا صايمة, I'm fasting. I will let them know when I'm ready to eat or not eat. I will dictate. And I only heard something like that similar from one person in the past 2 years. When I went out there and I saw this lady in front sitting on a tent, they're literally talking where they can go use the bathroom. They are going, I could never live in those conditions. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, no, they want us to leave. I will tell them when we leave. I will tell them. So you know what? They asked me, do you know Hazami? I want to ask you all, do you all know Hazami? So please join us in giving this award to Hazami Barmada.
Yes, indeed, Bloody Blinken. And he will forever be known as Bloody Blinken, Secretary of Genocide. I am grateful to you all, and thank you for this recognition. Though I'll be very real with you, a big part of me grapples with receiving an award for resisting a genocide. I don't really want an applause for doing what all of us should be doing. None of us should still be debating whether the worth of speaking out, the risk of speaking out, and our comfort to say, stop the mass killing of Palestinian children, mothers, and fathers. Yet, here we are. When my son was born in 2022, his body no bigger than my hand, I kept alive by wires and machines. I came face to face with the fragility and sanctity of life. In those months I spent by his side in the NICU, where his body fought for life with every fragile breath, I discovered the full power of a mother's heart. A few months later, finally out of the hospital and at home with my sweet Caden, I saw images of fragile and tiny babies dying alone, abandoned in NICU beds similar to the one my own son was in. I saw mothers in Gaza, their arms wrapped around the still bodies of their dead babies, whispering into their ears as if words might call them back to life. I saw them holding on for one final embrace, unwilling to let go of what Israel already stole. And I wondered, what last words could the mother possibly say to her child? And I asked myself, if it were my own son, what would I say? And that thought hollowed me. The haunting question carried me into the streets, not because taking a risk to stop the genocide was not scary, but because not taking the risk felt like betraying not only Palestinian children, but my own. As the daughter of proud, highly educated Arab immigrants, I'm sure my parents cringed when their Harvard-educated daughter decided that the right choice to do was to abandon a successful career and lay her body on the filthy DC public streets, letting staffers of Zionist congresspeople step over her in protest. As we say in Arabic, I went from being a highly respected professional to bint shawari', a street girl. But for the first time in my adult life, I was not bidding for the respect of others, and instead was respecting my own lineage, my own values, and my own Palestinian family. We cannot change the systems that were designed to oppress us unless we embrace the discomfort and do things differently. Change is uncomfortable. It is not glamorous, but it is real. In doing this work, I have experienced the wrath of Zionism. I have been spit on, repeatedly sued, dragged through federal court, harassed, doxxed, repeatedly assaulted, slapped, punched, arrested, and I even had a gun pulled on me. Yet each of these moments was a reminder of the danger, not of our advocacy, but the dangers of being silent in a world that we continue to expect if we do not accept, if we do not speak out. Because when systems fail, refusing to act is far more dangerous than risking everything to fight the injustice. I am standing here today not because I am fearless. I am standing here because I refuse to let fear dictate my humanity. Courage is not absence of fear. It is feeling the fear, yet deciding to forge ahead anyway. I am standing here because I could no longer accept the lie that appealing to the very system denying Palestinians their rights to live was a viable choice. While being in the streets isn't easy, it forced me to look deep within and interrogate the very essence of my own being, my ego, my pride, and how I defined my own worth. Palestine has helped so many of us unearth the deepest parts of what it means to truly be human. In a genocide, there is no room for likability and respectability politics. The value of Palestinian life is not up for debate. Our advocacy is working. Israel has spent over $250 million a year on their propaganda and PR. And in 2025, our collective efforts to expose them have forced them to approve another $150 million in an attempt to control the narrative. But the truth is, their propaganda is failing, and people have seen through the lies. And despite the attempts to criminalize us and to stop us, it has done the opposite. It has inspired courage, and every time they try to silence us, more people rise up. We are in the middle of bringing Palestine to the center of global consciousness in a way that we never thought was possible. This award is not mine. It belongs to the people in Gaza who are live streaming their own genocide. It belongs to the mothers in Gaza who refuse to stop fighting for their children. It belongs to my own Palestinian mother who carries with her in every single step she takes her love and longing for her homeland. It belongs to every parent who refuses to stay silent and every person in my DC community who somehow follows my bold, crazy ideas. It belongs to every single person insisting that Palestinians have the right to live with freedom and dignity. As James Baldwin said, not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. So I accept this not as a recognition, but as a call for all of us to be braver, to be louder, to fight harder in honor of the Palestinians that have lost their lives, and for the living, breathing children of Palestine who rely on us to ensure that they breathe another day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that would be, are we, Sohail? I can't see. Sohail, could you come 1 second? Are we done with the awards for? Sorry, we're done. Oh, okay. So that's for the awards, sorry. Right now we're going to go into the musical and the arts part of the program. And again, thank you all for coming out here. I apologize about the delays that we had, but that's the security we have and everything. This is the hand we're dealt. So thank you all. Again, we encourage you to stay for the musical performance.